Hi everyone, I'm Dion Alexander,
And I'm Hannah Fleming.
and we are the hosts of the weekly podcast, Drop Your Buffs. And so we're very excited to have you guys joining us weekly. You can also watch us on YouTube. So a little bit about myself and Hannah is that we met a little over a year ago when we were lucky enough to compete in the survival challenge.
Right. So Dion and I met a year ago just with over the love of Survivor.
Mhm.
And fast forward 1 year, and here we are today. We decided we talk about Survivor every week when it airs. And we decided to just go ahead and record it and share it with the world. So,
Yeah, especially after our own experience playing Survivor. 1 year ago, Macomb, Illinois, miserable in the rain. That's why we both have our matching buffs here. We were both part of the Argo tribe. Argo represent. We love our Argo tribe, and we're very excited for them to be listening to us weekly. And we all get to speaking every week about the episodes. And we wanted to kind of like bring a unique approach to watching Survivor. I actually was born and raised in Australia, and I used to watch Survivor every single week, starting from when I was 10 years old. I didn't get into Survivor later on in the game. I was a fan from day one. So I think I have a little bit of a different approach on it because I kind of was raised somewhere different. I loved Survivor from day one, and I'm really interested to see how Hannah and I bounce off of each other because she's got her own story when it comes to Survivor.
right. So I started watching from day one as well. I think I was 10 years old. Is that how old you were, Dion,
I
when you
was
started?
10, yeah.
Yeah, so I was 10 years old. I didn't understand why there was this big naked man on Survivor and why America was obsessed with him. But, I was still in it, and I've been hooked ever since. My family would watch it every Wednesday night. I lived for the challenges. And you know what? I didn't really understand the strategy of Survivor until after college. I started watching Survivor again, and you know that classic question that everyone has about Survivor when you say, "Oh, I watch Survivor. I love Survivor." You know what they always ask?
Yes.
Is that is
Is
that
that
show still on?
yeah.
So that's what I felt like after college. I'm like, this show is still on, and I decided to watch it. And I became obsessed with it because I had a whole new perspective of the strategy and the gameplay, and that spiraled basically into this, just like trying to pursue any content I could find about Survivor. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
was looking for podcasts. I was on Reddit for a little bit reading what people would
Hey.
post about Survivor. Reddit is a crazy world, so I only lasted on Reddit for a couple months, and I was like, these people are crazy. So I just needed all the coverage of Survivor I could find. So
I think
um
my approach was less of the podcast and Reddit, where I got involved into the game side of things and I got involved in the org world, the online reality games, when I was 19 years old. That really kind of got rolling really quickly. I ended up in the studio audience of Heroes versus Villains when I was 20 years old. So 10 years after starting watching the show, I was in this room with people that I'd been watching on the show for 10 years. It was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. And that was because I became part of a community of fans and I discovered that community from playing in online reality games.
so online reality games.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you are playing Survivor
Right.
online?
Yeah. So different people create different platforms. I started playing on MySpace when MySpace existed, and people would make different profiles for you to play as, or you would play as your own profile. There's lots of different formats. You can play as yourself. You can have an alias. That way, people don't know who you are, and you can play in multiple games. At the end of the season, they have like a cast reveal, like a reunion. It's this whole different world. It's so much fun. It's extremely time consuming, but it gives you a whole different appreciation for the game. It kind of puts you in the front of where the strategy lies. Obviously, you're not on an island starving. You know, you're not removed from your real world. If anything, it's harder because you have to balance the real world whilst playing in these games. But I've met so many people from playing in those games, and they're such big fans of the show, which made my love for the show even stronger because I was able to talk to these people about something that we bonded over. Which takes me to my other side of it, which is I was connecting with these people who I would think in the real world I would have nothing in common with. You know, we've come across people in our world where we're really good friends with people that we probably would never have thought we would be really good friends with, but we all have this passion for this one show. And that's enough for us to really get along and kind of keep in touch with one another because we have a shared passion. And that's what I think is really special about a show like this, because not only do we get to share that, but people on the show are forced to coexist with people that they thought they would never get along with in real life. But it's a common goal that forces them to work together. And that's what really hooked me as a 10-year-old. You know, 10 years old, born to a Sri Lankan mother and a Greek father in Australia, not necessarily walking down the street and seeing people like myself, and having to coexist with these people and finding how I can show other people without forcing it down their throat that I can be just, you know, as easy to get along with, and it doesn't have to be such a battle. And this show was really a platform for me to kind of live my life. It taught me so much about how I can coexist with other people and still get, you know, as Survivor is, you get what you want by showing other people that they can get what they want as well. And in the, you know, in life, that's us coexisting and getting along.
See, you have this deep, meaningful story and this heartfelt connection to Survivor. And when I started out, I was just living for the manipulation and deception and how you could use your relationships to your advantage to get to the end. And so that brings yeah, so that brings us to when we met 1 year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you talked about how you had met all these Survivor friends through online games, playing Survivor. Me, on the other hand, I got super into Survivor. I'm in the middle of Dayton, Ohio, and I have no one else in my life who still watches Survivor. And all I'm doing is just taking in all this content about Survivor, just by my lonesome. I have no one to talk to. And one day I hear about this opportunity in Illinois called the Survival Challenge. And a guy who won Survivor a few years ago, Adam Klein, winner of Survivor Millennials vs. Gen X, posted on Instagram, hey, if you've ever wanted to play Survivor, but obviously haven't gotten on the show, you should look into this event called Survival Challenge. It will be held in Macomb, Illinois during the summer. And he said it's so close to the real game.
Because Adam himself.
Because Adam played Survival Challenge. So, like, literally on a whim, I just set up my iPad in my classroom. I'm a reading teacher.
Okay.
After school one day, I just set up an iPad. I recorded a video talking about how I'm a huge fan of Survivor and I would love the opportunity to play. And I just sent it in. I had no idea what Survival Challenge was, but I just, like, you know that gut feeling like you know you're supposed to do something?
Mm-hmm.
So I did it. I got accepted. And then I got accepted. Applications were in January. In June, I find myself in the middle of Macomb, Illinois. I'm checking in. All I have is a bag full of, you know, all I have is one blanket. What else I had a blanket?
I'm trying to remember what I had in my bag as well. Like, I literally had what was on my body. I had very little.
So with nothing, I check in, and here comes this how do I describe you? You came in, you had your green tank top, you had your long hair. It wasn't that long, but
no, I had my hat, you know, looking cool.
Yes. So Djon walks in, and he is a part of my tribe, and that's where we met. We met day one of Survival Challenge. We played this event was 5 days long. We were thrown in the middle of the woods,
I just
And
remember day one when we got to our check-in station and we were forced to sit down. We weren't allowed to talk to each other, but you and I made eye contact as we looked behind us. This dark cloud was approaching. We both looked at it at the same time, looked back at each other with the biggest eyes we've ever seen from one another. And we just were like, this is happening. Holy cow, this is about to get real. And I know no one here. I was really lucky that I knew a few of the production people because they, flashback, the Heroes versus Villains finale, when I met a bunch of the people who were fans of the show, they're the people that went on to create Survival Challenge. So all these years later, not realizing that 10 years ago would kind of change where I am 10 years from then. And then I was going to be there in the middle of Macomb, surviving in the rain. We literally survived in the rain for like 5 days. I mean, I lasted 4 days. I get it. You made it 5 days. But it was still a crazy experience.
right, so Djon and I got to play Survivor in the woods with real life challenges, and we left Survival Challenge with this whole new group of friends who love Survivor. And I mean, honestly, Djon, we've been talking nonstop ever since.
We have. That's the funny thing. I always say to people, like, our original tribe, the Argo tribe, we have a group chat and somebody speaks in it at least once a day. And when I say somebody, they always get responded to. So even if some people might like take a few days off because of real world stuff, that conversation is always going. We bonded so much from that very first night because we didn't spend the second night together. We only spent one night together, but that was enough to solidify that friendship amongst the 6 of us. And I will not take that for granted ever. I will be so appreciative of that for like the rest of my life. You guys are my Survivor family.
I have real Survivor friends now. I have people to talk to Survivor about.
Yeah, it's exciting. And that's the thing. We are all scattered all across America. I now live in Los Angeles, and you're in Dayton, Ohio, and we're just, and the fact that we're able to do something like this is really damn cool because we don't get to hang out with each other on a general basis. But the fact that we get to do this once a week now, I'm really excited about that.
Right, so Djon and I decided to start a podcast to record already what we talk about when we talk about the Survivor episodes. So our goal is once a week to recap the Survivor episode and bring all of our insight into what's going on in Survivor.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this whole experience, but I want to hear what you're excited about when we do our podcast. Like, what is something you're excited about to do?
So my favorite part of talking to you about Survivor is, one, you are super dramatic and extra about everything. So you bring the drama, and you are really good at encapsulating the whole story of what's going on and figuring out just talking through what someone's best moves are going to be, and also giving some great insight into people's characteristics, their outfits. I don't know. You just have a great perspective on the show and everything. So I'm looking forward to talking to you about all that.
Well, that's exciting. I'm excited about having the discussion with you about certain topics that come up. Because I know that we're not necessarily just going to be like, I agree. Like, we're going to definitely have our own opinion about what's going on in this episode. Right. And I can't wait to have that conversation and really kind of pick apart the story and each other's brains about what is taking place. And not only what is taking place, but how we would respond to that situation if we were out there with the contestants. Because I have a feeling you and I would have a very different approach on how we would take on that information.
Right. So we're looking forward to talking every week about Survivor. And there's a lot of, Djon and I have a lot of life experience. Djon is about to turn 30. I am almost 30. So, we've got a lot of life and we've got a lot of opinions and perspectives on things. So, our podcast is called Drop Your Buffs Podcast.
Yeah.
And every week we are going to pick a moment from the episode that made our jaws drop. You know, the drop your buff moment when Jeff says, drop your buffs.
And
everybody.
They all like, oh my goodness.
So every week we're going to be looking for the moment of the episode that made us go, what? Oh my goodness. And so expect that every week. And expect us to bring the sass and the drama.
Bring the sass, bring the drama, bring the fun. It's all going to be happening at Drop Your Buffs. Check in every week.
So if you want to follow along and keep up to date with, every time we post our podcast, you can follow us on Twitter.
Where?
On Twitter, you can follow us. Our Twitter handle is Drop Your Buff Pod.
I think it like rolls off the tongue. It's really
Drop Your Buff Pod.
Drop Your Buff Pod.
Because someone took the handle Drop Your Buffs, so...
well, that's rude.
Yeah. So Twitter's Drop Your Buff Pod. YouTube, our channel is called Drop Your Buffs Survivor Chat with Djon and Hannah.
Stop, that's so official. I'm excited.
Yep, Djon, do you want to spell your name for everybody? Because you have quite the fun name.
That would be helpful. So my name, Djon, is spelled D-J-O-N, no I, said like Celine, not like the mustard. It's fancy, I'm not. So that one more time is Djon, D-J-O-N.
So, is your handle on Twitter and Instagram and everything just at Djon Alexander?
Yes, it is. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it is.
Well, my handle on everything is at Hannah Gilia, and Hannah with an H at the end. My middle name is Gilia, Gilia. You could find me on all of those social medias if you want to follow us there to keep up to date.
I was going to say you can follow the podcast, you can follow us individually. We're both very exciting people, and we're going to be bringing that excitement to the podcast, so you're going to make sure you check in every week. Right,
on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app of choice. Mm-hmm. Mine, personally, is the app Overcast, because I'm a little hipster who loves something different than Apple Podcasts.
Right. And I have listened to a few podcasts on Spotify, actually. I don't know if we're going to get on Spotify.
Oh, I'm going to try to get this on everything. Why not, right?
What? Let's just take over the world. Just do it. I mean,
I love it. Also, if we would love any feedback you guys have about the podcast, or about, if you have questions about the episode, something you want us to talk about, just shoot us a tweet. Mm-hmm. Shoot us a comment. I don't know. Do whatever.
We're making this up. So anything that you have, any input, anything you want, we want to do that for you. So anything that you have to kind of suggest, maybe just kind of request, we're listening. Okay, we're listening. Because this is for you guys. As much as we have fun doing this, it won't exist without you guys.
Right, so buckle up and drop your buffs.
Stop it.
Yeah, I just came up with that. Do you like that?
I love that. It
yep.
Really made me excited.
Buckle up and drop your buffs. I'm looking forward to this podcast journey with you, Djon. This is going to be so much fun.
I'm just so excited. I'm glad we're doing this in preparation for season 39, and then season 40. I don't want to have any spoilers, but I have a feeling that
it's going to be a good one.
Really exciting. But not to say that season 39 is not going to be fun, because with the, is it the Island of Idols?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun seeing some familiar faces, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. If we see some Boston Rob and Sandra banter like we did in Heroes vs. Villains, I'm going to be very happy.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, I'm going to put it out there. Those were some of my favorite moments of that whole season. And if we get a season full of those moments, I have no disappointment going
right.
into it.
I'm so excited. And the premiere date is September 25th.
Correct.
So Put it on your planners, put it in your phone, get ready for Survivor premiere. Survivor
Are you
25th.
ready, Hannah?
I mean, I just said Survivor 25th instead of September 25th.
Guys, Survivor Philippines. It's back. It's happening. Hannah's all about
Right. All right. So that's it. Looking forward to sharing with you everything about Survivor.
I'm excited. I can't wait. And I'm very, very happy that I'm going to be on this journey with you, Hannah.
Always.
All right. Thanks for watching, you guys. And we look forward to seeing you every week.
Bye.